Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I'm really glad you're here. Today's date is Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022. And in this video, I wanted to take a look at the upcoming lunar eclipse. Now, it's a total lunar eclipse and it's occurring November 7th and 8th. It's called a blood moon because with a total lunar eclipse, the moon will have a reddish hue to it. So that's why we get the blood moon. You may also hear it's not quite as widely stated that it's called the beaver blood moon. Nothing ominous there, nothing suggestive there. It's just simply that always in November, the November full moon is called the beaver moon, and that's because of the old Farmer's Almanac. They used to name the full moon in November that because during that full moon in November, according to the Farmer's Almanac, that's when beavers would be getting ready to hibernate for the winter. And maybe it was your last time to see them out and about until spring. So little fact information there. I did a little reading about this upcoming eclipse and wanted to share some information with you. And I'll show you where I found it. I stayed pretty mainstream. Went to, first of all, timeanddate.com. Really good site, has lots of just good information about time zones, weather, world clocks, calculators, and all sorts of things. So they had some information about this lunar eclipse, and it's really informative that the best viewing is going to be here in the red. So while the complementary one that happened in May to this, they said the energies that started with the May eclipse may finish in this one. It wasn't too visible. So if we have clear skies, I'm in Alaska, I should be able to see it. So looking forward to possibly getting a peek at an eclipse. And it shows you how to view them safely and things like that. So this is a really good site. It's informative anyway. There's nothing controversial on it or anything else. But where I was interested in was finding out how this eclipse could affect we humans. And so I went to a site called foreverconscious.com, and I wanted to read about this blood moon eclipse in 2022. Okay, I'm not going to read you the whole article. I'm showing you where it is so you can do that. But I did want to go down here. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling, so if that bothers you, look away. Okay, I've stopped scrolling. Under all the intensity and transformative energy of a blood moon, you can feel zapped, off balance, or a little more irritable than usual. It's important to practice self-care, grounding exercises, and to get plenty of rest. It also mentions to stay hydrated, okay, because the blood moon eclipse can also have a purging effect. So stay hydrated, get rested. If you're feeling a little irritable, don't blame it on something. It may simply be the lunar cycle. Now, people say that, oh, that's just old wives' tales. But you know what? When there's a full moon, the tides are stronger, so it affects the oceans. Our human body is the main component of that is water. So of course it's going to affect us. More babies are born during a full moon and more crimes are committed. So ask any police department if they watch an emergency room. Do they watch the lunar cycles so that they can kind of keep track of when the full moons are? And you're going to get a resounding yes wherever you ask that. So it's not just silly to be thinking about this. We talked earlier this week about the Schumann resonance and how when it spikes, we feel that. Now we're going to be feeling this eclipse on the 7th and 8th. It's important to us, be aware of the dates it's coming. Like I said, don't misattribute any irritation, to your significant other. It may be, that it's more just, so if you wake up feeling on the wrong side of bed, get yourself grounded, get a big glass of water, and just breathe deep. Okay, that's Laura's view and Laura's advice here for that. Now, here's what's interesting. In that, when I was reading about that, it said, think about what was going on in your life in May, because it may come to a head or those events may kind of come to a closure. So if you had events happening in May, especially ones that were affecting your outlook, your personality, your whatever, be aware that those may be here. Now, apparently this full moon and this eclipse is a wonderful chance for those of us that are trying to grow spiritually as well as just navigate our way through life. It's a good transformative opportunity. So now that's going to be opposed by evil. And one of the ways that evil opposes is to have you thinking about things in the past that you can't change and get you dwelling on that instead of thinking of, oh, I'm ready to shed this and start focusing on that. So before I do my read tonight, just asking if the universe has information about this upcoming full moon and possible, political ramifications or spiritual or whatever. We'll see what the cards have to say. I just wanted to put that out there. One thing that's really important is to remember the power of the words, I do not consent. I have events in my life. I've never claimed to have led a perfect life. I've made just about every mistake you can make, and some of them were fun, but I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. When I dwell on those, it brings my vibration down. So what I've learned to say when I feel like I'm kind of thinking about old relationships or mistakes I've made in the past, things like that, I just have learned to say to my living creator, I do not consent to be dwelling on these past events that I can't change unless there's something new to be learned from them or to grow from. And once I put it like that, I have no trouble putting the past back in the past. And occasionally there is something that I'm supposed to take away, and that's why it's back on my mind and on my heart, and that's okay when it is. But sometimes too, it's just this whole world is not, it's not a clean environment. There's a mix of good and evil wants us to be discouraged, to be dwelling on the past that we can't change and things like that. And so I just wanted to share that that's an excellent, excellent way to thwart that a little bit. And again, the words are simply, I do not consent to be dwelling on past events I can't change unless there's something new to learn or grow from this. So I wanted to share that with you. So let's see tonight what the cards have to say about this upcoming Beaver Blood Moon Lunar Eclipse. Okay, is there insights or information that the universe wants us to share? Anything from personal advice to things to watch out for on a world front, political front? Let's see what the cards have to say. I'll change the camera and we'll get to it. Okay, those didn't jump out. I was just a fumble fingers, so I'm going to just put them back in and keep shuffling. Let's see what the universe wants us to know about this upcoming lunar eclipse. The next one that is a blood moon lunar eclipse. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get those where you can see so you know I'm getting them off the top. Is going to be in 2025, I believe. We have an Ace of Wands, Strength, Hierophant, the Fool. Look at all those major arcanas already. The Devil, Page of Swords, and Knight of Pentacles. Kind of hemming that old devil in nicely. Okay. Well, I'm finding this pretty interesting. The question about the lunar eclipse and the full moon that's coming up on the 7th and 8th of November is indicated by the Ace of Wands, and that is a card of success and new beginnings. So if you notice, that is also supposed to be the date that the balloting in the United States for midterms happens. And I was open to any kind of information, whether it was political, spiritual, what have you, as far as insights from the universe on this. So we've got some new beginnings here happening with a very loving, strong, feminine energy. And this is interesting because this the transformative nature of this eclipse is supposed to be towards the divine feminine, which we all have in us. And it has been out of balance for ever since evil's had such a toehold in our human history. And so the time is coming for it to get back into alignment. So look at this, new beginnings, balance, because look at that infinity symbol, it's perfectly balanced on her head with the feminine energy. The Hierophant is one of my deep state evil cards. Okay, now it doesn't necessarily have to be because, at one time, religious figures were supposed to be a source of wisdom and guidance. However, that has been misused by so many of whatever stripe they might have been, that this now is just saying that in the past, we've been told not to trust our intuition, not to nurture both sides of our nature, the masculine and the feminine, and just listen and obey. So that's the past. But in the present, we also have, look, we've got new beginnings, and the Fool is starting out in total faith in a new path. So we are coming up to something really incredible and new starting around the time of this event. Now, evil doesn't give up easily. We know that. And the Devil card, well, not necessarily evil. It's a card of temptations and leading you astray. So be aware that when you have this opportunity for growth and our world has this chance to start out on a brand new, beautiful path, there are going to be temptations put in our way, and we need to just be aware of that and make wise choices. Okay, so yeah, don't let your path get diverted by maybe a money opportunity if the money isn't clean, whatever it might be. Now, the reason I'm saying that he is kind of well hemmed in here, beautiful cards here. Okay, so the Devil card, on this card we have the Page of Swords, and on this side, which is our major advice or clarification card, and he is truth and diplomacy. And so even though this guy, to do the temptations, doesn't have total honesty, the Page of Swords kind of insists on it. So we'll be able to tap into that energy of honesty and keep ourselves on that new beautiful path. Okay, we have the Knight of Pentacles here keeps showing up. If you notice my last few reads, it keeps showing up, even though there's other cards that are different around him. And this is a card, he is true blue. He is the absolute epitome of honesty, of, oh gosh. I guess if I had to say how he's affecting my thought on this, he's rock solid, okay? He embodies also the heart chakra. So we can look to some changes at the time of this moon and the lunar eclipse. We can shake off some of the efforts to have us dwell on the negative and not say, no, from here on out, I want to focus on this. I can't change that, but I can change this, and I'm going to. And so we've got some good, powerful cards keeping that from having too much cloud, which I just love. Let's get a couple other cards and see what the universe is talking to us about. We have Page of Cups. Page of Cups is kind of our often a pleasant surprise card. So it's kind of nice to see him here. He's also about creativity, just like the Ace of Wands is. So again, creativity going on here, connection, guidance. So that's really good. And the Hermit. Okay, so our efforts to grow as a human race, to free ourselves, to have our path back in alignment with what our loving Creator wanted, has some divine energy that is blessing that whole endeavor. So it looks like the information we're getting from the universe. First of all, there's nothing ominous about this eclipse or this blood moon or beaver blood moon, however we end up. But it is an opportunity for us to maybe do a little reflection, to be aware that something external like this eclipse and the full moon can have some effect on us. And with that awareness, we can mitigate it and keep it from, ruining our day or having us say something in haste or making a decision that we normally wouldn't have made. So just be aware that that's coming up. And then the advice then from the cards definitely seems to be that This is going to be a time of new beginnings and a new pathway coming out. So yeah, looks like we may have an exciting week ahead. And even if it doesn't, use this opportunity to stay hydrated, stay grounded, and to let this energy from this full moon help you to make some changes you're trying to make in your life and in your path. Okay? Because we can't fix the world, but we can work on ourselves and be there for family and friends and neighbors. So let's have that circle of influence that we can have some impact on, be our focus. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate it. And I like that you stick with me as we sometimes go down esoteric paths, not just and spiritual ones, not just on current events, because this is a current event. It's just not a political current event, but it does look like there may be some political current events that are also going to be happening during this time frame. So we'll have to watch and see what those are, and just be asking that whatever they are, they have the best possible outcome for people involved, for innocent children, for humanity, because that's what we want. Ultimately, it is all about the children, isn't it? Sure is for me. Okay, thank you. Until next time, I send you love and light and wish you all good things and success as we navigate through this blood full moon and lunar eclipse happening this week. It'll be fun. It will be. We'll make it fun. Good night.